For centuries, the world believed in the permanence of great urban civilizations. Empires fortified by massive walls, organized by intricate hierarchies, and enriched by generations of accumulated wealth seemed eternal. Cities like Samarkand, Beijing, and Baghdad stood as monuments to human power, centers of culture, science, and trade, seemingly invincible. Their rulers commanded vast armies, their walls repelled invaders, and their traditions were etched in stone. But from the wind-swept grasslands of Central Asia, a force was gathering. A nomadic people, shaped by the harsh realities of the steppe, would rise to challenge this established order and forever alter the course of human history. Mounted on sturdy horses and moving with the speed of the wind, they forged the largest continuous land empire the world has ever known. This is the story of the Mongol Invasions. The story of the rise of Genghis Khan. How did a collection of nomadic tribes, once scattered and feuding, unite to defeat the greatest military and economic powers of their time? What was the secret behind their unparalleled success? It was a revolution in warfare, a mastery of mobility, discipline, psychological strategy that redefined the very art of conquest. Join us on this journey to understand how a people from the steppes shaped the destiny of entire continents, connecting East and West in ways previously unimaginable. If you enjoy in-depth historical content that goes beyond the surface, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow history enthusiasts, and subscribe to our channel for more epic sagas from our past. The steppes of Central Asia are an immense, unforgiving sea of grass, a region of open horizons, constant winds, and extreme climates. Here, there were no grand cities, no sheltering walls, no vast fields of cultivated crops. Life was a constant negotiation with nature. Survival depended on relentless adaptation, keen observation, and unwavering cooperation between clans. The people of the steppes lived in perpetual motion, following the seasons and the herds that sustained them. From the moment they could walk, children learned to ride horses, to read the landscape, and to react with lightning speed to sudden change. This nomadic existence forged a culture that was profoundly resilient, fiercely pragmatic, and deeply collective. Unlike sedentary civilizations, whose power and identity were tied to fixed territories and agricultural land, the Mongols' world was fluid. Their wealth was on the hoof, their homes were portable yurts, and the horizon was their only true border. The horse was not merely a tool or a transport animal. It was an extension of the human body, a partner in hunting, travel, and warfare. This intimate bond with their environment and their animals gave them a unique perspective on life. It's a time and space of perspective that would soon prove to be a devastating strategic advantage. For he was the great Khan, the ruler of a world-spanning empire, he was a boy named Temujin. His early life was not one of privilege, but of brutal hardship. Born into a minor clan, his youth was marked by abandonment, rivalry, and a constant, desperate struggle for survival after the poisoning of his father. He was captured, enslaved, and hunted. These trials didn't break him, they forged him. Rather than inheriting power, Temujin had to build it, one loyal follower at a time. Through these struggles, he came to understand something revolutionary for his era, that true loyalty and strength came not from noble bloodlines or inherited status, but from proven merit, shared hardship, and unwavering trust. He built his alliances on competence and character, not just family ties. Step by step, Temujin gathered a following of men who were drawn to his vision, his charisma, and his battlefield genius. He unified tribes that had been locked in cycles of raids and revenge for generations, replacing old clan rivalries with a new, unified Mongol identity. This long, arduous process culminated in 1206 at a great assembly, a Kurultai, where he was proclaimed Genghis Khan the Supreme, universal leader of all the Mongols. A new era had begun. The success of the Mongol military machine was not just a matter of skilled horsemen and archers. It was rooted in a revolutionary organizational structure. Genghis Khan dismantled the old, unpredictable tribal loyalties and reorganized his entire people and army into a disciplined, decimal system. Units of 10, called arbans, were grouped into hundreds, then thousands, and finally into tumens of 10,000. Every man knew his place, his commander, and his duty. Discipline was absolute, and communication was astonishingly efficient. This decimal system ensured that even on a chaotic battlefield, orders could be relayed quickly, and complex maneuvers could be executed with precision. Leadership was based on meritocracy. Decisions were made swiftly, informed by excellent intelligence, and commanders were encouraged to show initiative and adaptability. This system allowed the Mongols to coordinate vast armies across immense distances, a feat that was simply unprecedented at the time. While traditional armies were massive, slow-moving behemoths, burdened by long and vulnerable supply chains, the Mongol armies moved with a lightness that baffled their enemies. They were a self-sufficient force. Each warrior traveled with a string of horses, allowing them to switch mounts and cover incredible distances without exhausting their animals. They could live off the land, hunting for food. And their diet of dried meat and fermented mare's milk meant they didn't need elaborate kitchens or supply wagons. This allowed them to travel hundreds of kilometers in just a few days, appearing as if from nowhere to strike with overwhelming force. They used advanced scouting networks, a sophisticated relay post system called the Yam for rapid communication, and coordinated pincer movements to encircle and annihilate their foes. Speed was not just a tactic, it was their single most powerful strategic weapon. Long before the first Mongol arrow flew over a city's walls, their reputation preceded them. Tales of their incredible speed, iron discipline, and the utter devastation they brought upon those who resisted spread like wildfire along the Silk Road. This was not an accident. It was a deliberate and highly effective psychological strategy. The Mongols offered a clear choice: surrender unconditionally and be spared, or resist and face total annihilation. Many prosperous cities, hearing of the fate of others, chose to open their gates, realizing that resistance was futile. This psychological warfare was an invisible force multiplier, saving Mongol lives, reducing the need for prolonged sieges, and dramatically accelerating the pace of their expansion. Their terrifying reputation became as powerful a weapon as their composite bows. With their society unified and their military perfected, the Mongols unleashed a series of campaigns that redrew the map of the world. Their conquests stretched from the shores of the Pacific to the heart of Europe. They overthrew the Jin dynasty in northern China, conquered the vast Khwarezmian Empire in Central Asia, and swept through Persia, the Caucasus, and into the plains of Kievan Rus in Eastern Europe. Each campaign was a masterpiece of strategic planning, executed only after gathering detailed intelligence on the region's geography, political divisions, and resources. But the expansion was not solely destructive. The Mongols were quick to incorporate the skills of the conquered. They absorbed engineers, administrators, merchants, and scholars from diverse cultures, integrating new technologies and ideas into their ever-growing empire. Contrary to the popular image of being solely a force of destruction, the Mongol Empire was also a remarkable engine of order and administration. Genghis Khan established a written legal code known as the Yasa. This code promoted strict order, forbade theft and adultery, and, remarkably for the time, mandated religious tolerance. Christians, Muslims, and Buddhists were all free to practice their faiths. The Yasa also provided protection for merchants and ambassadors, making travel safer than it had been for centuries. Under Mongol rule, the old trade routes were revitalized and secured. This period, known as the Pax Mongolica, or Mongol Peace, allowed for an unprecedented flow of goods, ideas, technologies, and culture between East and West. Gunpowder, the printing press, the compass, and medical knowledge all traveled along these newly secured pathways. After the passing of Genghis Khan, his sons and grandsons continued his legacy. Expanding and governing the vast territories he had unified, the empire eventually fractured into several successor states, such as the Yuan dynasty in China, the Golden Horde in Russia, the Ilkhanate in Persia, and the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia. Though politically divided, these states continued to shape the destinies of the regions they ruled for centuries. The Mongol Empire reshaped borders, toppled old dynasties, and created new political realities. Its influence is still visible today, not just on historical maps, but in the cultural, genetic, and political fabric of nations across Eurasia. From the humble, windswept plains of Central Asia, a force arose that redefined the balance of power in the 13th century world. The story of the Mongol Invasions is more than a tale of conquest. It is a powerful testament to the idea that innovation, adaptability, and a clear strategic vision can overcome even the most entrenched and powerful structures. It shows us that history is often shaped not by those with the most resources, but by those who can best adapt to a changing world. If you found this deep dive into the Mongol Empire fascinating and want more content that explores the grand sagas of our past, please show your support by liking this video, sharing it, and subscribing to the channel. Your engagement helps us continue to bring the greatest stories of history into the present. Thank you for watching.